In this video, we're going to show you how to use a code node in your workflows. Code nodes are really beneficial because it allows you to inject custom code that you create to process data. So if the existing nodes that n8n provides doesn't give you the functionality that you require, you can go and insert your own and do whatever you need to be able to do. It's very flexible. Now, quite often it's very difficult to write code in these tools if you're not very familiar or experienced. I use Claude quite a lot, and I ask it to write code for me, and this is an example of me having done that. So at the moment we've got an initial workflow that's really basic. It's got a webhook, and the webhook has an array of values that it passes in. We split those out into just the array of values, and we loop over those 3 items at a time. So now we want to create a code node and do some processing of that data. Now, in a code node, when you open it, it already has some value in there already. You can just delete that and replace it with your own code. Now, this is information that Claude has provided to me. And what it does is it processes each of the items and it changes the values, and then it sends those back out to the next node. So we now have our code in place, and we can make it so that this loops. So we've got our code node at the end of a loop or in the middle of a loop, and we take the exit and we put it back to the start of the loop, so it processes all of the items in batch. And we'll be able to see what this code that we created, I won't go through it in too much detail, what it actually does to process these values on the left. So on the left, you can see an array of 3 items, and the key is the word value, and then the pair or the value on the right-hand side is either value 1, value 2, value 3, and so on. So what we're going to do is process this workflow now, and the code node is going to do all the processing of the data for us. Let's execute this node, and it's done it very quickly. And when we open up the code node, we can see that it's taken the values on the left-hand side, 3 at a time, and it has processed them. And so what we can see is the original value that we passed through, which is value 7, and it has changed it to uppercase. So it's capitalized value 7. It tells us what the index is in terms of the number of the items sent through here. So 3 items were sent through in the batch, and the first number is index 1. The number, which is inside the value that was sent through, is 7, so we can pull out that value. It has been processed, and it gives us a date that it was processed at, and then it does that sequentially for each of the 3 items sent through. We can go back through the loop and see how it processed all the previous ones as well. So here we have injected code to transform or process data that this workflow has received, and we can pass that on to following nodes to be able to execute and do further things with that information. So imagine that a user might have submitted some information like their name and their address or something like that. We may want to capitalize that information before storing it in a database. So this is how you would do that. You would insert a code node, you would receive the input data that the user has submitted, and then we would process the data and send that out to the following node. That is it. That is how you would use a code node inside your workflow. If you found this useful, please like and subscribe.